We have a demonically possessed speaker on tonight's episode. Stay tuned to find out more.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
Welcome, everyone.
Hey.
Happy Thursday. I'm so happy it's Thursday. It's been the longest week, and tonight's episode was just everything for me.
Yeah.
Do we agree?
I totally agree. This show is so creepy, but good. Like, I like it.
I know, I agree. It's amazing. I'm your host, Carla, and I'm joined by my amazing girl squad. To my left, I have lover of all things horror, Miss Haley.
What up? Hey, guys.
And then we have Shantiera. Her dad's a pastor. She's very religious. Perfect person to be talking about evil with.
Definitely, you know? Definitely.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some holy water on y'all. So
We need it. We definitely need it. Today we're going to be talking about Byron Duke, David and his visions, Leland and Kristin. We're going to do our special segment for everyone, some news and gossip, and we're going to wrap up with some predictions. But before we do all of that, what are your overall thoughts, ladies?
Well, okay, so I thought this was a great episode. It's so interesting how this show can be so creepy, but it's good. It's a little funny to me because Leland is like creepy, but he also makes me want to laugh because it's like you're like, are you really serious right now? Like what he was trying to do with Adam and everything, I couldn't really take him seriously, but obviously he was serious. So I think it was a really good episode. I think with Byron Duke was actually, I thought he was really possessed. I'm wondering if we're going to get that, if we're going to get seeing the people, like, you know, possessed.
What about you, Haley?
I really liked this episode. I'm happy that we're going to see more backstory from the other characters. So I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
This episode really took a crazy turn for me. The ending, you guys called it. I was sitting there like, did that really just happen?
Yeah,
it happened.
I was not expecting that. And how you're saying, like, you thought he was actually possessed. I still think he's possessed.
Yeah. I think he just was in his own... Obviously, he wasn't in... I mean, obviously, the guy was in his... Joe was in his head. But I think eventually he started to believe what was happening to where he started getting in his own head and then really think he was crazy.
That's exactly what I think as well.
And when you think you're finally free of like that evilness and it comes back, it makes sense that he...
Well, imagine someone playing with your mind that hard, you know?
Yeah.
And we don't know how long it went on for, but from what the girl said, it had been 6 months because he went through 67 assistants in
That's
6
insane.
months.
That's insane.
I'm surprised he doesn't have any lawsuits against him. I would sue.
Seriously. Especially if you're not paying people as well. I would think that you could sue for that.
Am I the only one that thought of Naomi Campbell when they mentioned throwing the phone?
No, but I 100% see where you're coming from. Well, no, if you're breaking people's phones, that's like beyond wrong. Phones are expensive.
Seriously. And I think I even saw him like throw like the pen holder at somebody too. I'm like, can you do that?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can.
No, definitely.
That's assault.
It was crazy watching Patty ask David and Kristin, all of them, for help. How are you that loyal of an employee? Would you guys go that far for your boss?
I think it depends because...
If I like them.
True. If I like them, but to me, it seemed like that she'd been working with him for so long, and she noticed that change. So I think that she just kind of held on to who he was before this recent change within the past 6 months.
Yeah, and shout out to that actress. She's from Orange is the New Black.
Oh, Dasha.
When they see us.
Yeah,
I was happy to
Dasha.
see her on my screen.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah, I love her. She's amazing. I don't know if I'd be that loyal.
I would not.
I don't care how much you're paying me, any of that. Like, that's so disrespectful. And it's like you don't go to work to be treated that awful, you know? So I wouldn't have done it. Shout out to her though, because she really stuck it out. She was a real one.
Yeah.
Like 67 assistants, and she's the only one that I feel like stuck around.
Maybe she was getting paid really good.
That's what we kept wondering. I'm like, that must be a good check.
Yeah.
Or she may really need the check. If you need the check, I kind of get it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wait, let's clarify. So I was under the impression that she had been there and watched him go through 67 assistants.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure because I'm like, wait a minute. She wasn't the last one.
No.
But, okay. Okay, cool.
Because she said that losing the Tony is what she thinks triggered the whole situation.
Got it. Okay.
So his possession comes in the form of a speaker.
Creepy.
I thought it was a joke.
Really?
I really thought it was a joke. But then at the beginning, they say that possessions take form in many ways. So that really is possible. Like it could take the form of your pet, anything really. So when it was the speaker, I was like, if the speaker started talking out loud to me, I would literally just like laugh at it, I think, or just throw it away.
I would start crying. I'd be freaked out.
I would
Really?
freak out. Yeah.
Some talking to me through my speaker.
If it was like a doll or something like that can move, then I would get freaked out. But a speaker, I thought it was pretty comical.
And why Joe? Like, what does Joe mean?
I think it was just a common name, a regular name.
No, yeah, but now we know that it was actually hacked. They spent so much of the episode trying to figure out if it was hacked that I was like, no, it's real.
I thought it was too, because I know they mentioned that when he would walk into a room that the thermostat would go down and it would get kind of cold. So I'm like, okay, maybe some sort of possession. And I've kind of been waiting for that because, I mean, this show is called Evil. So I'm wondering where we're going to see some evilness, if you will.
Isn't it kind of crazy to think that like we're so intertwined with technology that they could even hack like your AC system? Isn't that insane to think?
That's insane. Yeah, I wanted to ask about that too, because I had wrote down that Sebastian, who we found out was the hacker, who's an IT person, he said he was able to connect to the Wi-Fi, but he used the cell phone, and through the cell phone, he was able to get Byron to pledge his soul, which is insane to me. But if I was Patty, there's no way I'd be there. For one, I'm sorry, I'm not that loyal. Look,
Oh my God.
I'm not. I'm sorry. If I think you're possessed, I'm out. But no, I mean, that was a lot for me. I'm like, pledge his soul. Like, that's all it took. I would have just turned the thing off.
No, I agree, right?
Would've
Can't you
gotten a
take
new
the
phone.
batteries out? I would take it to where I bought it from and be like, look, something's going on here.
Right. You saw what Ben did.
Yeah, I was like, I need this fixed. I need this product. I need to exchange it for a better one that does not talk to me in weird voices, you know?
Seriously.
That would have been my alternative. But do you think the IT guy, Sebastian, was justified in what he did?
No.
Really?
He's messing with people's heads. That's like, you have a lot of time on your hands, first off, if you're doing that. Like, imagine the money he could have been making if he put his time into doing something else than tormenting somebody.
I completely agree. Contrary to that, I also feel like that these days, people are suing for everything. So there's no way I want to be mixed into that, because based off what happened, Byron ended up committing suicide. So if that comes back to Sebastian, guess who going to jail? Bye-bye,
Bye,
Bash.
Sebastian.
Bye-bye, Bash. You want me in jail.
I do think it was very wrong on Byron's part, though, to not pay him.
For sure.
Yeah, that was jacked up.
You have to respect people's time and money, especially a specialist like that. Like, you can't find that expertise just anywhere. Like, you don't need people to prove themselves, and then if they don't meet your standards, just fire them. Find someone else.
Just sued him instead of doing all that.
That's what I would have done.
And, there's this thing called, I don't know, HR, so it's like everyone has one. Like, I would have went to the HR department or somebody to enforce something. I'm sure that could have happened.
Well, Patty does say, because they asked her the same thing, that why doesn't she go to HR? And she said, well, we're less than 50 employees, so I guess that doesn't meet the requirement for having an HR in whatever branch you're in. I didn't know
I missed
that.
that part. I missed that part. Now I'm
I
thinking
missed
about
that
it, I'm
part
like, okay.
too. I'm like, wait, what? They don't have an HR?
No, they don't have an HR.
That's insane.
Who do you make complaints to?
I mean, I've never worked for a company that small, so I could never tell
Yeah.
you, but apparently those are the rules.
It's funny. My roommate, she works for a company. It's very, very small. They don't have HR. So she says her coworkers will joke and say, we're going to tell HR something silly. And then she'll like, who are you going to tell? We don't have one. And I'm just like, how is that a thing? There
How is that legal? You know?
I don't
Like,
know.
who do you turn to in that situation? Probably just a lawyer. You lawyer up and tell on your boss. Oh my
Seriously.
gosh. Well, before we move on to our next topic, Shantira has a special announcement for all of our amazing viewers.
I do. I just want to thank you guys so much for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. If you guys are on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. And if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Make sure you guys leave us some comments. We'll go ahead and interact with you guys in the chat. Please let us know what you guys think about the episode. We want to thank you guys so much for all your support. And yes, move on to the next topic.
And thank you so much to Keven and Maria for making all of this possible. None of us would be here without you. So a big shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
And talk in the live chat, everyone. We love hearing what you have to say. And I feel like there's so many different elements and components to this episode that I'm sure we miss some.
We do. I always have to go back in the chat once the episode's over to see what people are saying. I'll try to interact with them, but a lot of the times they have good perspectives and they'll bring up things that I missed.
Yes,
We've missed. So.
We appreciate all of you. So
Yeah,
feel
for
free,
sure.
everyone. So on to topic number 2, we have David and his visions.
Yes.
So
okay.
I'm starting to feel a little iffy about my man David, okay? The way the last episode ended, I was like, why are you
levitating off the bed?
why are you doing drugs?
Yeah.
Like, is this, I don't think this is very holy of you. But then I also don't know the rules of what it takes to become a priest, so I don't want to completely judge. But he's apparently having visions, and we've heard this in the past that he's known for having visions.
Yeah, this whole thing with David is really confusing. I don't know how to feel about him. It's I feel like every time he's thinking about, I don't know if it's his God or even if he's thinking about Kristin, Leland Townsend pops up, and I just don't understand what's that about. And then with Leland always referencing Kristin going back to David, it's making me think, okay, what's the issue? Like, what's this thing with them? I need them to show some backstory with them, because I don't know what's happening.
What I think is that David is having temptations around him, and it's making him question, I'm going to assume, his priesthood, which is why he's very off, personally, to me. And Leland being his demon, basically, that's what I'm taking it as. The things he says, I assume, are his weaknesses. So the breast and Kristin. Yeah, so sex, basically.
Yeah, you got me thinking. I think because all these little many cases have just hasn't really been a demon, you're making me wonder if Leland Townsend is the demon, especially with the static, and that was creepy. I'm like, how could that happen? And I'm not sure. I think it was Ben. Ben said that Ben said that he used a jammer. I had to write that down because I wasn't sure that you could even do that. Like, how could you change cut out your voice like that?
Yeah, that was very odd. But at the end of the episode, I want to say it was the last thing that was said. Leland says, there are forces in play against you, Kristin.
Yeah.
What forces? I genuinely think that he is the demon in all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm starting to think so too, because he is creepy.
And the things that come out of his mouth, it seems like he works solely off evil and bad. And even with the court case and all of that.
Yeah.
The little, the 15-year-old boy, why would you want to convict him as an adult? You've never made a mistake. You're not allowed to have your record expunged once you're 18. And then his reasoning to mold him into the man that he needs to be.
That's insane. Yeah, there has to be something deeper. There has to be something with Kristin. I'm wondering if there's something with Kristin's husband, because we don't even know where he is.
Where's homeboy at?
He's probably still climbing. Sir, you should be home.
He needs to come home. No, we've all thought the same thing.
Right, he does. But it made me feel really uncomfortable when Townsend was he's going to, be in jail and get assaulted twice. That was creepy to me. Like I said, I love his character. I love what he brings to the show, but that was a little uncomfortable.
Very.
Yeah.
The fact that someone can even
it got a little dark.
make up those thoughts.
Yeah.
But going back to David and his symbols, the symbols he's seen. So when he was speaking to the other priest that was in his collar but a normal outfit, I didn't catch his name. He was saying how God draws in straight lines and he's to the point, and the devil gives you puzzles.
Yeah.
So then he's seeing numbers, he's seeing symbols. Do we think it's God or do we think it's the devil? What do we think his visions are? Do we think they're good or do we think they're bad?
I want it to be God. I don't think it is.
I think anything with Leland Townsend involved, it got to be bad, because I just feel like that God is peace. And so with him having these thoughts and things like that, and I just don't believe that God is associated with that, but I don't really know.
I'm on the same page with you. I think I think he should also feel peace. If you're thinking about holy things, there's no reason you should be sitting there confused and stressed and puzzled. But then what are these symbols?
Yeah.
You mentioned that you thought it was Jesus, right?
Yeah, I thought he was looking at Jesus for a second, but apparently it wasn't Jesus. It was a woman.
Yeah, because then when he ended up looking like the painting up, and then it was like that tombstone, and then he found 3 coordinates, and he put them on the map.
He can draw amazingly, by the way.
Yes. I'm like, how?
Okay. So I wrote down, I'm not sure if you guys caught this, but I wrote down that 2 names. Leland said Julia. This episode, I could have swore he said Lydia. I could be wrong, but I could have swore he said Lydia in the beginning.
I think he said Lydia too.
No, he did.
Yeah, I wrote it down in my notes.
But then on the first episode, he tells Kristin that she's in over her head, and then he mentions the name Julia. So now I'm wondering, okay, who are these women?
Past lovers, maybe.
I think he has a dark past. Maybe not necessarily dark, but it's definitely troubled.
Yeah.
Because when he's talking to Kristin, he says, when she's questioning him on why he's so devout, he says, I used to not be committed to anything. And he watched like soldiers, or what did he say? That he watched like a certain person. And he's like, I want to be that committed to something.
Yeah, he did say that. And he also said, too, that God wants him to be a priest. And I noticed that he was starting to open up a bit. So, I don't know. Maybe we can probably tie in and figure out who these women are. And
maybe these symbols are like referencing back to his past.
Could be.
And that's why they're bugging him so much.
Yeah, I mean, the show is called Evil, so I'm sure we're going to see some type of evil, and it's probably going to be revealed within David or Leland. Sorry, it's a prediction, but... Oops.
Do we think that Kristin is out of line for asking the type of questions that she does, David?
She doesn't know him that well.
But would you be asking these kind of questions? Like, what do you think of the church scandals? Like, what is he going to say? Oh, they're great?
Yeah, but she doesn't have tact when she asks. Like, she's really just, like, blunt about it.
I feel like it's kind of a mockery to his life choices, personally.
I agree.
I would be offended if someone was questioning something that I believe so strongly in. But that's what's amazing about him. He keeps his cool no matter what.
Yeah.
He does. He's very hard to figure out.
He's the only character that I can't figure out fully. I'm just like...
Well, Leland too, but yeah.
See, but Leland, we know he's bad.
We know he's crazy.
True.
David, what are you really? You go to the club, you go for runs late at night, you're thinking about sexual things, you're doing drugs. It's so all over the place, but then you never see him break his cool.
Yeah.
And that kind of patience is unheard of.
It's scary.
Yeah,
It is.
because I could never be that patient. So moving on to our next topic, we have Leland and Kristin. What is their bad blood?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm really trying to figure it out. I'm trying to think really, really hard about this because he mentioned that he wants to reverse all her cases. So there's something against her. He has a problem with her, and I don't know if it's because she's working with David and he has, a bone to pick with him. I'm not sure, but it seemed like that he hates Kristin more than David.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
So, but I'm just like, where is all this animosity coming from? And how come nobody else can see it? Like, I mean, I know that they realized it during the testimony and with the recording, they were able to hear him, but I just feel like that people just aren't catching on to him. I mean, they don't get creep vibes.
Just looking at the way he looks at someone, I'm just like, you wouldn't be creeped out by that?
Yeah.
I just think he wants to genuinely do bad. Mm-hmm. And he said it on the stand. Like, what do you think Kristin's problem is? That she let her good heart get to her head.
Yeah.
So, and from what he said about the boy whose conviction he overturned to sentence him to adult.
Oh, Adam? Yeah.
Yeah. He clearly has bad intentions.
He does.
It's confusing as to why only to Kristin, why so invested in her life, her daughters.
Yeah.
How do you have that much time?
Maybe she's like put somebody away that was close to him.
Ooh, that's a good one, Haley. That's a good one.
I'm just saying, like,
that would make a lot of sense because revenge is dangerous.
all of her cases. How many cases does she have?
Well, it seemed like she worked with the DA's office for a while because she had a reputation with them. And then they asked for her to come back.
They did.
And it's like you wouldn't ask for someone to come back that you didn't necessarily like or have good experiences with. So I think she probably was there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's something personal with him.
For sure.
Oh, my God.
But it's so weird that he was sitting on the stand, like, trying to sound so innocent. Oh, I actually got her notes. A good Samaritan gave them to me. And it's like, no, I don't understand how they could even take that into consideration when it comes to like, you being in court. Although I'm obviously not a lawyer or anything like that, so I don't really know how the court system works. I would think that would be illegal.
They tried mentioning that.
Right,
and
I
then,
heard, yeah.
And then she was like, no, because this, basically her state of being in the moment, like her therapist, she wasn't good. So that affects the choices she was making at the moment. I would think the same thing. Where these came from matter. But look, I watch a lot of Shonda Rhimes, okay? It does not matter. They can come up with evidence in the most shady ways possible, but if it like applies to your case, I think they just accept it. Because how do you trace back to all these documents that people come up with all the time? Like, it's hard.
It is. Interesting. Well, obviously we're not done with this case because I didn't catch Adam's mom's name, but I know that she said we still have a long way to go. So I feel like this is a start, but I believe that there's obviously going to be some sort of possibly pushback from.
Yeah. I love that Kristin's still fighting for that young man, though. That's a testament to the person she is. Like, she comes off as a hard ass, but the fact that she's not working there anymore and she still goes out of her way to be present and turn it around, kudos to her.
Can you be tried as an adult at your 15?
You could.
Yeah, you
I
can.
just read an article of a 9-year-old who's getting tried as an adult for burning his family in a trailer. And this is just like, I swear.
That's not funny.
Off topic. No, we're not. But no, you could, because I feel like sometimes people are aware and evil, and you could be a child. There's already podcasts, Murderous Minors, everyone. Plug if you want to go check it out. Yeah, it's insane.
I'm good, love, and joy.
Do we think that Kristin was in the wrong for making up his voice in that recording?
No.
Yeah, but like she had a reason to be. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have done it, but she had a reason to do it.
Yeah, okay, so yes, she was wrong for doing that, but in this case, with what he was trying to do, coming after this 15-year-old boy and his like motives behind that, she wasn't wrong for that. I feel like she did what was necessary.
I love what she said.
but it worries me though, because he did mention her daughters. I'm wondering, are you going to be putting your daughters at jeopardy because you're trying to save everybody? Makes me wonder
Also,
that.
I want a question. Where are her daughters?
With the mom. I'm
She
going
has
to go
4
ahead
of
and
them.
assume with the mom. And Laura.
I love the mom.
Yeah, she's hilarious. I hate that she had to play dirty, though.
Yeah, I do too, but it was...
Because we sit here and we frown upon all the, like, illegal things that go on. And then we're like, yeah, Kristin, go do it, you
But
know?
I feel like this is a different type of circumstance. I mean, he's literally... He's the devil, so it's okay to fight back against the devil.
Wow.
That's my story and I'm sticking to
Luckily,
it.
we don't make the rules. We're just talking about them.
Right.
I don't know. It's crazy.
That's not justified, but...
And I want to get into this. This is not one of our topics, but it was a big part of the show that left me just confused.
What did?
The second speaker.
Oh, yeah, with Karima.
With Karima, with the other one's sister. I don't know.
Ben.
Was it Ben's sister?
Ben's
there we
sister,
are.
I
Karima.
love this sister.
I do too.
No, yeah, she's intelligent. But what was that?
So apparently she had a baby and it's in Iblis. And I don't know what that is, but I don't know what that is. But she
I
has
thought
a
it was
baby.
person.
Oh, I thought Iblis was a person.
Yeah, I assume too.
Oh, okay.
It's because the quote I wrote down was Iblis has your baby. How do you hide
I
a
just wrote down
full
Iblis.
baby
Yeah.
for 9 months?
See,
Give them away.
Again, this is why it's important to have backstory, because who knows, she could have been living somewhere for about a year and then could have had a baby and gave the baby up and all that. You never know.
Because don't they live with their parents?
The dad.
I think they probably allow the parents to live with them. You know, like, I'm taking care of you, you're in your older age. That's just going to be my assumption.
Yeah.
What I took away from it, if this baby really does exist, is I'm sure it wasn't culturally appropriate. She
looked
doesn't
freaked
seem
out.
to have a partner.
For sure.
And I know a baby out of wedlock in their culture is extremely frowned upon.
Definitely.
So
I mean, you
then-
saw Ben's face, and
was
you saw look in her eyes. She was scared. I mean, she ran in the
She
room.
ran in another room.
Yeah, she didn't come back out.
I'm very interested in like her story.
Yeah, me too. I am.
And now why is this? I'm going to assume it's another demon. It's another possession, the speaker. Why is he after Ben now? Ben and his family.
I'm wondering how. I guess it's the same thing, but isn't it just a coincidence that the well, it was Sebastian who hacked the other speaker, but I'm wondering who would have hacked Ben's speaker or his dad's speaker.
But then even if it was, let's say, someone like Sebastian, how do they know about Iblis and the baby?
That's true. I don't think it was Sebastian.
Can you listen through a speaker?
Yes.
Because
to my
Alexa
knowledge.
is a speaker, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe like he's like listening.
But you think that Karima's really sitting around saying Iblis and the baby?
This is what I'm confused. Like you have to be watching her.
And isn't it a coincidence though that Byron's speaker was hacked by Sebastian, and then all of a sudden Ben's dad's speaker was hacked by somebody completely separate? It's weird.
Oh my gosh.
It's weird.
Well, he ended up throwing it away. So now I wonder if the spirit is, or the voice is gone, or if it's going to come back in another form. You
think
so?
Putting it in the trash is going to do something?
Well, if it was a hijack, then yes. You know,
he's been watching his sister.
There you go, a hijack. We're hijacking Blaine. Thank you.
I got you.
He's been watching his sister for I don't know how many years, months, and you think throwing the speaker away is going to do something?
No, it's not.
Well, he
I
thought
wish
it
was. I would have kept that speaker and just, I don't know.
Studied it. Why would you just throw it away? That's all of your evidence.
Your dad's going to be angry you threw away his speaker.
Go to the store, get him a new speaker.
See, this is why I got Alexa. This is why.
You know what? I'm hesitant to get one because I don't need more ads on my phone to buy things. I will literally look something up or say it, and then there's an ad.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, thank you. My bank account does not need you right now. All right, ladies, anything we want to bring up? Maybe something that shocked us that we missed? Anything?
I'm just surprised that no one saw Byron commit suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one paid attention to the boss walk outside and stand on the roof.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, he just went out.
And that was it. I'm surprised he switched that quickly, but, I think there was more going on up there than, we really saw.
Yeah.
Because he was fighting himself. That's weird.
Yeah, it's crazy how much power people... It's kind of scary. I mean, this man was literally choking himself. It's kind of scary. But I definitely want to make light of it because this is a real thing. I'm sure people go through things like this all the time. Mm-hmm. But it's scary.
Yeah, I wish he would have gone to a doctor.
Yeah.
Do they not have a doctor on board? Because they have Ben, they have Kristin, they have the priest. Bring a doctor. We need a doctor. Maybe these people have mental illnesses. Because mental illnesses, I feel like, look similar sometimes to situations like these.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Kristin's a psychologist, so,
Yeah, definitely.
I want to point out that he was sweating behind his neck.
So they ended up saying why though, because he had hair extensions or I don't know what it is, but
hair plugs.
Yeah, hair plugs. He was balding, so and I know those really do make you bleed.
Yeah, and I guess they were infected.
And I was like, that's such a weird place to sweat.
But you see how they trip us up, making us think it's really. I was like, okay, it's really gonna be a demon this time. It's he walks in, the air drops, and the choking himself. They set us up and then they let us down.
Well, next week it looks like we might really have one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm for it.
I'm for it, too.
Because that's what I was expecting from the beginning. And they've kind of been teasing us, playing with us, so I'm ready.
But it's still a good show. I love it.
Definitely. Let's get into our special segment, ladies. We have some demonic news for all of you.
We sure do.
Sleep with your lights on.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so our special segment every week, I try to find some demonic news. Last week was very, very a little disturbing. So this week I got something a little bit more interesting and light. So there's some paranormal activity at Isleta High School in El Paso, Texas, and apparently K-Fox 14 was there and on a ghost hunting tour at the school, and one of the members said that they were holding up their phone and saw something running past the screen. I would have freaked out. I would have been out. I can't be a part of stuff like that. I scare easily, so I'm not. Yeah, I can't. So apparently they're saying that there has been a lot of unexplained shadows and noises that go on at this school. So I don't really know if it's really a demon or something there, but they're speculating or saying that it may be that they have tracked paranormal activity. And then the group's president said, I can't make you believe, I can't make you see what I see, but at least come with us and see what we do. So I don't really know if this is a joke. I'm not sure. Part of me thinks it is, but they're saying that they think that it was really somebody walking past the screen. And I'm like, I wouldn't even want to stay there long enough to even see what it was.
I'm bringing holy water. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like, I don't like. What's the They have something going on around Halloween where they scare people at Universal.
Horror Nights?
That's it. Horror
Love
Nights.
Horror Nights.
Yeah, see, I'm not about that life.
Shantiera, we need to go.
No, I'm okay.
It's Stranger Things themed this year.
I've never seen Stranger Things.
Oh.
So I don't
I heard
don't
it's
know.
not that scary. I really heard it's not that scary. So
Stranger
I really
Things?
believe in you. No. The Horror Nights.
Oh, the Horror Nights?
Yeah.
People come up and jump at you. I don't know if they can't touch you though.
I just don't want
I
to.
feel like you would punch them. You know?
Oh,
I'm not-
Oh yeah, you
Like
can't do
just
that.
as a reflex, you'd be like,
Yeah, I don't want to be there. I have no desire. But yeah, that's all I got.
awesome. And some news and gossip, Haley?
Yes.
AfterBuzz
So-
TV News.
More on Michael Emerson. If you are a Lost fan, I think you would really like this interview. He did an interview with Sci-Fi Wire where he talks about his past characters and how people still come up to him talking about Lost. I've never seen Lost, but I know it's a really, really big show. And he doesn't mind if you come up to him and you talk about it with him. Which is always nice to hear when you love a show so much and the person that plays like your favorite character doesn't mind it. You come up
Yeah,
and
that's
talk to him.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too.
All right, ladies. Well, what do we think is going to happen next week? What are some of our predictions?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so I have one. With this next episode, with it being the kid, I'm hopeful that we're actually gonna see this kid a little possessed. I don't want there's the speaker, somebody talking to him, making him think things. I don't want that.
I want the whole
I
thing.
want the whole thing.
You want the whole enchilada.
I want the whole intro. But I obviously want to see them utilizing Kristin and saving somebody. That's what I want to see. So that's what I'm hopeful for.
I want to see, since it's a kid, I want to see her daughters involved in this.
That's exactly my prediction. I want to see what's going to continue happening with Laura, and I want to see Kristin stop being such a skeptic. Yeah, I think if she sees it for herself firsthand, she'll finally stop questioning, his religion so much, and finally become at least a bit of a believer.
Yeah,
That's what I
because
hope.
she's
so.
low-key rude.
She's high key, okay? We don't gotta be nice about it. She's high key rude.
She's high-key rude.
No, she's just very direct.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come off well sometimes.
Yeah, I don't necessarily get rude. I mean, I think it was kind of cute to see her having a fangirl moment with Patty, but I don't really necessarily get rude from her.
Really?
Yeah.
I get rude.
I think I get a little closed-minded.
Okay, yeah, that I get.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
can I mention one other thing? I do want to see George.
Oh my gosh, George.
But I need him to be not. I don't know. I'm so confused about this whole thing with him.
I need him to stop being.
I need him to stop going into like the daughter's room. That really creeps me out, and it kind of like screams pervert. I don't like this little monster.
Yeah, especially because he was talking about her panties and stuff. I'm like, this is weird. What's happening?
No, I agree, ladies. Well, it's time to wrap up today's episode. Where can people find you, Shantiera?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you guys can find me on Mondays, All Rise After Show at 8 o'clock, Mass Singer on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, and on Instagram and Twitter at Shantiera.
You guys can find me everywhere at Haley Matthews, and here on Tuesdays discussing Sorry for Your Loss.
And you can find me on Instagram at Carla Alcontreras and Twitter at Carla_C. Until next week, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.